I'm Dan Drake. This is Front Up on Visitor Network TV and Channel 99. Our guest today is Laura Stewart, who is the program coordinator of the Saltmarsh Center. Laura, welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Well, I thought it was about time we caught up with some of the things that are going on at the Saltmarsh Center and find out a little bit about you. How long have you been there?
I'm going on my third year come October.
Where did you come from before? What were you doing?
I did in-home daycare.
Here on the island?
Here on the island for about 15 years.
Yeah. And how have you liked the transition to the program?
I do like the transition. It's a lot of it's the same, believe it or not. It worked perfect with my life and my children. I was home with my kids until they became teenagers, and now it's good that I'm out of the house. And
There's something to be said for that.
Definitely. So it was a great transition. I'm enjoying it.
Good. And what's going on at the Saltmarsh?
Lots is going on at the Saltmarsh. On a weekly basis, we have lots of exercise classes, which is great. Nancy Swain teaches an aerobics class in the morning, which is always full. We have Tai Chi, some yoga, a little strength training. Joe Aguirre teaches a kettlebell class.
A what?
A kettlebell class.
Please tell me what that is.
It's a bell with a handle on it, and they hold it and lift weights and
all right.
swing it.
Okay.
And so it's a weight strength training class.
All right. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. So there's
I probably need that myself. But.
Right. Well, you can come on down to the Saltmarsh. So lots of exercise classes in the morning. We have a congregate lunch every day that is brought in by kiddies and sponsored by Elder Services of Cape Cod and the Islands. Food is fantastic. It's really good.
How many people do you serve lunch to?
On an average, 15 to 20.
Does the number grow much during the summer, or is it all pretty?
It does. It does. Yes. Mostly the exercise classes and the bridge.
Duplicate bridge.
Duplicate
That's a
bridge.
Wicked group, I understand.
There's lots of them, and it definitely picks up in the summertime. This is probably the last week. It'll slow down a bit, but there's usually about 40 bridge players.
That's once a week, twice a week?
Once a week, every Tuesday. Yep.
And what other sorts of things do you do besides that?
Well, there's lots of games other than duplicate bridge. Mexican train, cribbage, mahjong. So lots of things to get people out of the house, down, be social. They come and have a cup of coffee and a cookie and play a game for an hour or so.
How many people play cribbage on average?
There's usually about 2 tables, and that changes, week to week. Mahjong is pretty big. There's usually 3 or 4 tables of that. And Mexican train's a new one.
That's a dominoes.
It is.
Yeah.
It's lots of fun. Lots of fun.
Yeah, we play that with our kids. Actually.
Oh, do you? I just learned about it myself.
Yeah. And it's fun. Do you do anything in the evenings?
We do a dinner once a month on the third Monday from 5 to 6. So that's an evening activity that we do. But that's it for now. In the wintertime,
most of your clients probably want to go home and go to bed.
Well, and it's hard to get out at night driving. A lot of the times, people will come with the bus, with the NERDA bus, and that ends at 4. So that definitely
puts a crimp in the style.
It does. But I think things will be going towards that. The younger the senior generation gets, it would be nice to do an exercise class at night. But that's also trying to find an instructor.
How old do you have to be to participate?
You need to be 60 years old.
There are a few of us around.
Yeah, there are quite a few. There are. And a lot of them come to the Saltmarsh, which is great.
If you had a blank check in your druthers, what other sorts of things would you be doing?
What other kinds of things would we be doing? First, we would need more space. That is the biggest problem right now, is that the calendar is full every day from 8:30 to 4:30. And there's one big room, so it's tough to kind of schedule more than one thing.
Right.
We do have a divider that we use, so we have, one type of game on one side of the room and another on the other, but sometimes the Mexican train people get a little noisy.
Rowdy.
They get a little rowdy because it's a really stressful game, but it's good. So space is really the issue. We do a lot of things outside of the Saltmarsh. There's been sponsored ice cream tours with shearwater excursions, which is
Right.
great. And the Nantucket
You
Community Sailing.
can't do that in February, though.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't. So that's the biggest thing right now. If we could have money for entertainment of some sort, that would be nice. It's once in a while we can get, some Nantucket performers that have extra time. It's tough in the summertime
Right.
because they're all playing their
They're
gigs.
busy, yeah.
Exactly, making money. So anything at the Salt Marsh would have to be donated time. But we've had Eric Wendelkin come from the school, and he'll bring his guitar class, and they'll perform. So it'd be nice to have some sort of performance that people can come to.
Coming up next week is a fairly long-standing tradition, the Elder Expo.
Yes, we're in our 8th year.
And there's been some question about the effectiveness of that. Do you want to talk about that a little bit or not? I mean, it seems to me that it's something that a lot of people put a lot of effort into,
Yes.
and the response isn't that good from the community.
Well, we average about 175 to 200 people coming through. So I think that's pretty good. It's busy. There's lots of information there for people. A lot of people come from off island, the vendors,
Right.
to let us know what they can offer for Nantucket
Is
seniors.
it really geared towards seniors, or is it geared to the people who are responsible for seniors, i.e., professionals such as yourself, or family members of
It's geared towards seniors, and I would say family members. It would be great to have family members come so they know what's available to their family when there are seniors in their household. Just to know that the programs are out there. I think it's pretty well received.
That's good.
We'll see what happens this year, especially with no advertising. That'll show, I think.
Absolutely. And it is when? Next Saturday?
It's next Saturday,
Which is the
12th.
5th, 12th. That's
The
right.
12th.
At the high school?
At the high school, yep. It's going to be in the auditorium entranceway and the Hall of Flags instead of in the gym. So we're changing it up a little bit, and we'll see how that flow works for people.
How many vendors and so forth are there?
We're going to have about 25 to 30. So it's a good showing.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
And most of them from off island?
Most of them are from on island. There are a few that do come from off island, but most of them are here because that's the community that we have.
So can you give us a sort of a representative list of some of the people who are there?
The banks come, the pharmacies come, home health care comes. Lots of opportunities for seniors, like the community school will be there, the community pool, what they have to offer for seniors, the Athenaeum, they have lots of classes
Right.
that they offer. So it's not just information on, housing or health, but also just what you can be doing other than being at home when you're retired. You can take a class, or you could mentor the youth of Nantucket. So just lots of opportunities for seniors.
So it is as much geared to what they can do to enrich their own lives as it is to sort of taking care of them.
Correct. Because seniors are all different ages.
Right.
It's really 50s and up. Some people are retired. Some don't retire until they're 75.
Some flunk it a few times.
Right. Have to go back at it.
I won't mention any names, but there are some of us who don't like retirement.
Exactly. So ways to keep busy, because it's important to keep busy. Your social circles change decade to decade, and so sometimes you can get stuck not doing anything. So it's nice to know what Nantucket has to offer.
It is. That's good. Back to the Salt Marsh for a minute. How much of the financial support of Salt Marsh comes from the town, and how much of it comes from private sources, either directly or indirectly?
The town owns the property that it's on, and I am a town employee, and so are the other two ladies that I work with. The building is owned by the Nantucket Center for Elder Affairs, and there are friends of of the Salt Marsh that raise the money. So they're going to have a yard sale October 31st, Halloween, to raise money to keep the building up, which has gone by the wayside in the past 10 years. It needs a lot of work. So they're raising money for that. They also raise money for the programs.
That's good. Are there any sort of last thoughts you'd like to share before we wrap this up?
If anybody on Nantucket would like to come and offer a lecture of some sort to the seniors that they think would be interesting, either a travel log of their vacation or a boat they made or anything, a slideshow of some sort, come on down, talk to me, and we would love to schedule that.
That's great. Hopefully people will respond to your call.
Right, exactly.
Laura Stewart, thank you so much for joining us. And
Thank you.
Continuing best wishes for what's going on at the Salt Marsh Senior Center.
Thank you very much.